My name is Dharan. I'm the Sir Tops for this today's meeting, and I welcome you all to the Medley Toastmasters meeting. The mission of the Toastmaster is to provide supportive and positive learning experience, which results in greater learning and self-confidence for the members. To run a successful meeting, we do have 3 ground rules. Please put your mobile phone in either silent mode or in airplane mode. I'll give you 10 seconds. As a Toastmasters, we don't talk sex, religion, politics in our speeches and table topics as well. And third rule, please don't cross-talk during the meetings. Right? With this one, I'd like to welcome our President Toastmaster Dinakaran to the stage.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What are you all doing?
Great.
Are you all excited to be part of another good meeting?
Yes.
Okay, let me recognize the dignitaries present here. DTM Sampath, our founder member. DTM Guru. Oh, okay, just started. Okay. DTM Thomas. We also have our area director also with us. We will start with a guest introduction. We have few guests with us today. Guest Praveen, will come and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone. Thank you. First of all, thanks for having me here as a guest actually. So, Mr. Siva was kind enough to answer my call and give the required details regarding this community club. So I'm here just as a visitor, just to see how the speeches are going. So the principal motive behind is to improve my skills, especially public speaking skills. So just exploring a few clubs, visiting as a guest, and trying to finalizing the one which I think will be comfortable in many aspects. So thank you very much for the warm welcome.
Thank you. Yes, Praveen.
Hello. Good afternoon. I'm Ravindran. So I came from Bangalore to Chennai just 4 months back here. Just I was wondering, so I want to improve my leadership skills and public speaking skills. So that's why I was checking with Praveen. So he suggested, so there was a clubs out there like Toastmasters where we can go and speak, and we can improve the leadership skills and other like communication skills and also that is why I came here.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, so we also learn a lot of live lessons here. So
Yeah, definitely. So that is required for me. I need it, so that's why.
just Latika, we come here.
Good afternoon. My name is Latika. I'm a housewife and I want to improve my communication skills. So I'm here. My husband suggests this name. So that's it.
Kausalya, yes, Kausalya. You've been a regular visitor for us. Yes. You've been a regular visitor.
This is my 4th session. I have started enjoying coming here. The prepared topics and the table topics are all interesting, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Sorry, would you like to come over here and introduce? So good name, Manish.
Hi all, thanks for having me here. I'm working with Shell, almost done 15 years with Shell. I basically came forward because my wife wanted to improve on her communication skills. So I said I'll accompany you, let's see how the session goes. Shell also has their own Toastmasters. I've not joined that session per se, but I know how the session is conducted, and I was impressed by the way the sessions are conducted. So I suggested this is a very good place to start. That's why I'm coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. So community club is a little different. You will see new faces here. So you might see some difference between the corporate club and the community club. So would you like to come over here?
Hello everybody, good afternoon. I am Ananthan. I just moved from Mumbai. What is the first thing you do when you move to a city? You just Google, right? And the first thing I came to know is trying Google Toastmasters, and then I had Alia Toastmasters Club, and I thought this is the best opportunity to try and connect with people. And I realized I'm not alone. My gentleman besides me is also close from Bangalore out there. And maybe we'll exchange relocation tips as well. But I think this is a great place to try and socialize, try and connect, and try and figure out and try and connect with people. So that's the reason why I'm over here. I'm not to understand the place, connect with people, and figuring it out. So I'm looking forward to a very interesting session.
Thanks for coming over here. We would really enjoy the session.
Right.
With the guest introduction, I declare the meeting number 7 open. Okay, so before we move on further, we are actually into the second month of this term. I just want to summarize where we are when we starting this the second month of the term. So last month we have completed our MOT, which is actually one of the milestones for the month to complete, and we have uploaded our status to the Toastmasters, also the district, and we have also completed our club success plan in the Toastmasters website. And yeah, so this is the status of the club success plan that is uploaded on the slide. I also would like to summarize with respect to the BCP, right? So out of 10 points, we already achieved 9 points. So we are already recognized as considered distinguished. Though we are yet to get the award, we can say that we achieved that. And then the 1 point the pending is for the OTP officers training program to be completed, where we have all our members have completed the training, and we will be soon getting the 10 out of 10. So that's the summary about it. And we discussed a few times earlier during our meetings to make sure that we track the progress of each member and ensure that we connect with them and then make sure there is a regular progress and continuous improvement. So in the view of that, we have been publishing this report. So this we already started with our WhatsApp group, in the Medley Toastmasters WhatsApp group. So we have got these details. We would request to reassess your progress so far and connect with your mentors on a regular basis and work on the progression plan, and then take the Toastmasters journey to the next step. Yeah. That's a quick summary about where we are when we actually complete this first month of the term. And yeah, so I think you all know that I'm an IT guy. Like I've been in the field for around 22 plus years. And maybe some of you might also know that at the bottom of my heart that I would like to step out of it and then do something on my own. But unfortunately, I'm not in that stage so far. Because I expect something here, but I don't get it. It's because we keep doing what we regularly do. If we keep doing what we regularly do, but we expect a different result, you would not get it. So there is always a chance that we take a step back and relax on the day-to-day activities and reflect on what you are doing, and also course correct or reset the activities so that you achieve what you want to do. If you think about it, I talked about 3 R's, RRR. Reset, reflect, and rest. I have come from the other side. So rest, reflect, and reset. If you look at it, this triple R might help you. I'm trying to look at it from my side and see how we can improve forward. Now, I would request lady to come here and then talk about a few words. Any message from the area or any other message you want to communicate?
First of all, good afternoon everyone. I could really sense the energy how we started this meeting. So even I am really excited to watch this meeting, how we are going to take it forward. With respect to what we have in our area, next I think everyone are excited for the IAC and TT contest, which is going to come up in the next few weeks. I think even your club is also planning to conduct the club contest. Hope we will have good participation in the area with respect to the role players as well as the winners representing from Medley as well. And the second thing is, I believe you would have got the information regarding the world record which we are going to attempt. How many of you all are aware of that? Great. I hope all of you have registered for it too. Yeah. So first time from our district 120, we are going to attempt a world record speaking about 750 unique stories about Indian independence. Hope we will achieve it with all your support as well. So far I have this in my mind. Going forward, if I get anything else, then maybe towards the end of the session I'll share it with you.
Okay, Personal Sandu will come over here. Let's hand over this one couple of. Yes, sir. Yeah.
For me, okay. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on with the next step for the meeting. So today I have Siva as a TM OD. He's like me, again an IT guy, but he's aspiring to be a life coach. And he has been trying multiple items and taking multiple steps towards that. I'll hand over to him to take forward and then move forward to the next meeting.
Greetings, fellow Toastmaster and guests. How are you today? It's a pleasure being as Toastmaster of the day. Okay, imagine you're traveling to your dream tourist spot on a weekend drive. You're going and you know that you need to fill up your tank, and you could sense that there is a petrol bunk on your driving side. But instead of filling up, you delayed it, you kept on going. At one point of time, you see the red in the odometer, and there comes a big sound, and then you search for the nearest petrol bunk, you find none, and you had to take a U-turn, travel in the opposite direction, just to get the tank filled at the right time before it goes empty. Have you ever done this? I have done this. No one has done this. Okay, thank you for two gentlemen for being honest with me. Okay, another situation. You're going to a marriage function. You know that you have to withdraw money. There is one ATM very near to your home, but you won't withdraw that. You reach the destination, and finally you take the Google map and find the nearest ATM to withdraw cash. I have done this before. I don't know. I don't know because I think most of you are very well planned. I don't know. Okay, anyhow. So if you are experiencing any of these patterns, I think you are undergoing something what psychiatrists called as acrasia. So what is acrasia? Is it not a disease or something? It's just another name of procrastination. So here the theme of the day is, how do we overcome procrastination and get things done? Okay, here comes the question. Why do we don't do the things that we intend to do very much, but we end up doing things that we regret later? Neuroscience is catching up with this, and they have done a research, and they have taken two groups of people. One, a seasoned procrastinators, people who have mastered the art of procrastination and put on a scanner over there, an MRI scanner particularly, and then they found the result. On the other hand, they took other set of people who are, we call it as productive beaters. They do job on their time, they do all the tasks well planned. And the results were astonishing. What they find is, the people who regularly put off things, procrastinate, if you see their brain structure, they see the part of the brain called amygdala in a very bigger size. We call it the monkey mind. And there is another part of the brain which is responsible for rational decision making. That is the prefrontal cortex. That is in a very diminished size. But if you take the scans of the people who are very productive, it is on the other side. The amygdala is very small and the prefrontal cortex is very big. So what's the message here? So there is a rift always going on in the mind between the rational mind and the monkey mind. The monkey mind is always on the present. It wants to the immediate pleasure, right? And the rational mind, whereas on the other side, it wants delayed gratification. So one is the present self and the other one is the future self. And there is a tug-of-war between the present self and the future self. Okay, how do we handle it? Let me bring another fascinating aspect about the brain. Our brain acts in a weird way, right? What happens? The brain sees our present self and our future self in a different pattern. For example, if I say to myself, I have to save enough money every month so that I can be comfortable at the retirement. But my brain would think like, oh poor guy, why should I save the money for some other guy? Because it sees myself as a different person and the future self as an alien person. So this is the problem. So how do we address this? Let us take one aspect of this. There is a mitigation plan. This is called as, I'll come to the name later. So let's get back to history and meet our friend Victor Hugo. Let's go back to the 18th century. It was 1829, and Victor Hugo has to write a novel within a span of 1 year. So 1 year to write a novel, that is a pretty much good enough time. But our friend Victor Hugo is so indulged in piano classes, gourmet dinners, and then also poetry recital programs. At the end of the year 1, he has not done anything, even written a word. Then the publisher issued a notice to him, warning to present the book. But again, he delayed it for 6 months. Then comes the ultimatum. The publisher wants to get the book done in another 5 months. Otherwise, this guy has to pay 1,000 francs every week. So now our friend Victor Hugo has no other go. And then he comes up with a bizarre idea. He went back to home, called his assistant and asked him to take away all his fancy clothings. So that, and he asked him to put in a wooden shelf, close it and take the key with him. So now our friend Victor Hugo is left with one big shawl where he has to completely close him from head to toe and do the writing. Finally, this particular tactic paid off and he ended up writing the book well before 2 months of the delivery time. And that's none other than The Hunchback of the Notre Dame. So this particular technique is called commitment device. So if you want to commit something on that where you find no other go, you will obviously do that. So what is one example of what we have here, right? So in Toastmaster, if you want to excel in public speaking, you got to enroll Toastmaster. That's one way of doing things. So with that said, let me come to the meeting structure. So today's meeting, the Toastmaster meeting has 3 parts: prepared speeches, table topics, and then evaluation. The prepared speeches, whereas our members practice a speech and deliver it based on their projects. And then comes the important table topics master, where everyone is allowed to speak on their feet. That is the impromptu speaking. It is for the guest, you are also allowed to participate in that particular part. And then comes the most important part of evaluation, where evaluators evaluate the speech and provide their constructive feedback. So to comments further, to proceed with, I have a companion here. So she is a dentist by profession. Singing and traveling are her passion. And now she is associated with Satyabama University, where she also teaches. So when asked about her trick, how to get things done and avoid procrastination, she said she includes a tactic of planning, delegating, and also she fixes timeline. So remember, goals without deadlines are really dreams. That's what Napoleon Hill said. With that, sir, I'm inviting the general evaluator for the day.
Thank you, TM Modi. A very good afternoon to distinguished Toastmasters, distinguished guests, fellow Toastmasters and my dear friends. To balance my professional and family life, I do multiple roles. Early morning, I am a cook. After 9 o'clock, I teach my students in the college. Early evening, I am a harassing tutor to my daughter. And after that, I am a wanted dentist for my patients. How do I get it done? I have a team who assists me, starting from my mother, my colleagues in my department, my assistants in my clinic. Similarly, as a general evaluator of today's meeting, I am here to evaluate every part of the meeting and assess the meeting quantitatively and qualitatively. I play multiple roles. I am a speaker, I am a listener, I am an evaluator, a leader, and how I am going to get it done? Again with a team. Not one, but 2 teams. Today I have 2 teams to assist me to do my responsibility as a general evaluator of the day. Let me introduce the first team. It is called the tag team. To assess the meeting quantitatively and to track the time and how much time each speaker has, I have a person called timer. And to do this role, I have a fun-loving person, an aspirant to become a life coach and a career guidance. When I asked him, sir, he is none other, DTM Guruprasad. When I asked, sir, how do you get things done on time? He revealed a secret. He will involve himself in some duty for a specific time, and he will reveal the news to all his known people in his surroundings, and that will make him an intuitive to make things done on right time. Please join with me to welcome DTM Guruprasad, the timer.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am your accountant present here to watch and make sure that we are consuming the budget given to us within limits. The budget is in the form of minutes and hours. As a timer, I will be helping the speakers practice expressing a thought within a specific period of time by warning them, alerting them, stopping them if they still exceed, by punishing them. How do? I have a methodology. I have 3 cards here. Green will be shown to warn them, yellow will be shown to alert them you are about to finish, red will show them that you have finished. If you still continue, I have grace time. After that, I will be declaring them as disqualified. The target times are, for prepared speeches, all the speakers have the same time today, fortunately, 5 to 7 minutes, green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, red card at 7 minutes. You should speak a minimum of 4 minutes and 30 seconds and not beyond 7 minutes and 30 seconds. For evaluator, the time is 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, the green card at 2, yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and the red card at 3 minutes. You have 30 seconds to finish. For table topics, your timing is 1 to 2 minutes. Green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. You cannot speak more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and you should speak for a minimum period of 1 minute. At the end, I will be presenting my overall report when GE calls for me. Thank you very much.
Until I joined Toastmaster, I did not know this word accounter. After attending few Toastmaster meetings, I realized the importance of this role, accounter. So to play this vital role, today we have a fresher. He's a mechanical engineer from Anna University who loves engine, stand-up comedian and traveling. He's still in the way of learning the secret of get it done, that to get it done, we have to start doing it. Over to Toastmaster Suresh. Please share your responsibility as an accountant.
Thank thank you, General Evaluator. As she has said, our counter is the first time I'm hearing in Toastmasters. So good evening to every Toastmasters and dear guests. So I'll be the R counter for this meeting number 717, and I'll be assessing all of the speeches filler words such as sounds, long gaps, and words such as so, you know, what I mean, and any other structure which is not intended to be specified in the context and is used just to fill the time. So yes, so my role will be to assess the gap which there are in between speeches. So that's my role today as an accountant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Suresh. To assess our meeting qualitatively and to know the grammatical usage of this meeting, today we have as a grammarian with us, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani. Professionally, she is an anesthetist. Like when I was with her for one full day, and I felt that she is a multi-faceted woman like me, and out of the many roles she plays, the one that I like the most is the mother of two kids. So when I asked her how she gets things done, she said that she prioritizes her work and find out the shortest route to fulfill that. Over to Toastmaster Prasanna Vani. Please share your responsibilities.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pravda. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to each speaker, listening carefully to the language usage. I will note the use of outstanding words, phrases, or quotes, as well as improper language usage. It is also my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is tenacious. Tenacious means to be persistent or determined in getting things done. An example of using the word of the day would be the scientists' tenacious efforts paid off when the satellite took off successfully. The police had put in tenacious efforts to solve the crime. I encourage all the speakers to kindly use the word of the day. At the end of the meeting, I'll provide my report when called upon. Thank you. Over to you, Dee.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani. So I will come back to introduce my second set of team, the evaluators of the prepared speeches, and give my GE report. Over to the TM Modi.
Thank you, With that, we come to the very crucial part of the meeting, that is the prepared speech. We have 3 speakers today, and to start with the first speaker, I will reveal his name later. First, I would call his evaluator, Toastmaster Priya, to read the project purpose statement.
Good afternoon to all my fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. And the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes.
Our speaker today is very passionate about music. He is also a software engineer, and of course, he loves coding. When questioned about how to get things done, he comes up with a weird way of answering, and I was a bit intrigued about that. He said that he uses procrastination to get things done. I was wondering, and he continues. What he said is, procrastination acts as a motivation for him because it hits his ego and helps his motor running. Says Toastmaster Jagan, the first speaker of the day. And he is here to present his speech into the Oblivion. Toastmaster Jagan into the Oblivion. All the best.
For a moment, I lost all consciousness. I cannot afford to lose my consciousness at that time because it would have had disastrous consequences. I opened my eyes. I was driving a 150cc Yamaha bike double my weight on the highway at 50 kilometers per hour. A Skoda Octavia on my left, a Hyundai Verna on my right. I had a heavy school bag on my shoulders, my niece, younger one in front of me, my elder one in the back seat. For a split second, I lost consciousness. I felt floating a couple of inches above the earth's surface. Have you ever felt that before? A lot of hands. Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear friends. What separates the dead from the alive? Consciousness. Okay. Anybody? If it's consciousness, where does it lie? Does it lie on the operating table in front of the surgeon? Does it lie in the hands of the anesthesiologist who, in an instant, knocks us down into being unconscious? As I pondered upon these questions that day on the operating table, I went into an unknown state, a state that I had never been to before, and I don't know what it was. Dr. Maitri injected something into my right hand. A wave of ease traveled through my chest. Doctor, should I resist this? No, Jagan, just be. We exchanged pleasantries, and in the bat of an eye, Dr. Maitri and I were talking deep about philosophy of life. Doctor, is this what feels like? My tongue is swirling in my mouth. Doctor, is this what feels like consuming alcohol? Hey man, don't start. Because of this, I don't want blood on my hands. No, doctor, I'm not going to consume alcohol. I just lost someone so dearly. But I want to question you. In that moment, I felt my body shutting down. Or so I thought, because my heart was pumping blood, my lungs were breathing, the chest was going up and down. I don't know what the liver was doing, but it was active. But my stomach was also happy because it did not have any work to do that morning. But I felt losing myself. I felt like I was not there at all. Have you ever been under anesthesia before? Anybody?
Dentist.
You have been under dentist. That would have been a local anesthesia. Dharan. Does it feel like consuming alcohol? Alcohol also feels the same way? No. It doesn't. Not for sure. On that day, in the operating table, I felt going into the Oblivion. 3/4 into Oblivion, I asked Doctor, isn't this a miracle that my body shuts down, but my organs keep me alive? She understood that I was tenacious in irritating her. She nodded, but must have thought, hey man, will you shut up please? Half an hour later, the nurse woke me up. I said, why? I could have slept more. I have been sleep deprived because of this operation for 2 days. But the good thing was I started talking again. This time my brother-in-law bore the brunt of it. More importantly, during those 30 minutes, where was I? Except for the anesthesiologist, anybody can answer. Where was I?
Subconscious state.
Okay. Being under the knife, it triggered plenty of conversation at home as well as here. What happened here was more laborious than what happened at home. Nearly 5 years ago, I received a call from a friend. I rushed to the hospital. I ran past the group of college friends who were just standing outside of the ICU. I ran past the ICU bed till the end of the corridor to figure where she was. I couldn't find her. I turned back only to realize it was the first bed, and I couldn't recognize her. We'd been friends for 5 years then. She's the pretty woman as she is, and it's not a face that you can forget. But I couldn't recognize her. Her parents were helpless. Their relatives were clueless as to what was going on. The doctors were hopeless.
There were tubes, wires, machines, and screens surrounding her. Every organ of her body was functioning except the brain. On that day, on the operating table, every organ of my body was also functioning, including the brain. I was unconscious and alive. She was unconscious and... Dear friends, I ask you again, where does consciousness lie? My niece and I, the other day, had a discussion at length about this. 3 words dominated our discussion: heart, brain, mind. Often people say, I make my decision here and not here. Aren't both decisions made in the brain because the heart cannot give directions? The heart cannot give directions. My mother pitched into the conversation and said, Jagan, your Atma lies here. So when I do a heart transplant, do I become a different person? Dear friends, what happens after the heart stops? Ironically, most of us, unlike my friend, die when the heart stops. When it does, where do we go? I refrain from going into the religious and spiritual angles to this. Instead, when I looked at her, when I looked at my father, when I looked at my grandparents, they all went into one place, and one place alone. Here. Their memories became part of me. I started cherishing them better. I started understanding them better. I started loving them deeper. I started seeing them in me. They truly don't die, do they? Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jagan. What an inspiring speech that was. Thought-provoking. And now the time comes for the second speaker. Let me keep the name a surprise and call this Evaluator, Toastmaster Venkat Pallle, to read the objective statement.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. My target speaker, Hemant, is delivering speech on presentation mastery, level 1, project 4, evaluation feedback, second speech. The purpose of the project is to practice applying feedback from his first speech. So, all the best, Hemant.
Thank you. Our second speaker is a research scholar in IITM, and he is doing his things done with battery research. And when asked about how he gets things done, he said he focuses on these things without giving, or the major task alone, without giving any room for akrasia. So with that said, I welcome the second speaker of the day, Toastmaster Hemant. Toastmaster Hemant, a gift. Toastmaster Hemant, a gift.
Good evening, everyone, and dear friends. You can have various opinions on the great leaders, but one thing is common among all the leaders, and that is he cares for people around him. He cares for people left of him, and he cares for people right of him. His personal interest is always lower than his people's interest. If you talk about example, Mahatma Gandhi is a great example. He was a barrister, and he has a great career in front of him. Nevertheless, he leaves that career and he go for people and led a simple life. His motto was non-violence. During the non-cooperation movement in 1922, the Chauri Chaura incident occurred, in which people inside the police station was burned by the followers of Mahatma Gandhi. He was disheartened by this incident, and he dropped a national movement of such a large scale only for the reason that he cares for the people left of him and he cares for the people right of him. If you talk about another great personality, Savitribai Phule. She fought against the society just for girls' education, and she built schools and served her life for the betterment of girls in the society. Another great personality is Jawaharlal Nehru, whose great vision was that because of that our newly independent India has two eyes, one IITs and second IIMs, and another one great institute, that is AIMS. After that, if you talk about Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he built our defense to another level. His courage made India a nuclear power country. Another great personality, who is last but not the least, is Vikram Sarabhai. He showed the seed of Indian space program, and we all know today the accomplishments of ISRO. I don't think I need to give more examples, but all of these examples you can see that they have different nature and different skills. But the only thing common in all of them, they were there for their people. They were serving their people. They think about their people, left of them and right of them. One more thing also common in all of them, and that is they were not civil servants, but still they were no less than a civil servant. I found it inappropriate when people say that someone has failed in civil services, because this is not a job, this is a civil service. And how you get fail in civil services? The day you thought of doing civil services, a job that is above your self-esteem, self-interest, that day itself you passed in this exam. The only thing is that you are not given powers to execute your decisions, because people around you has much better capabilities than you to exercise those powers. One such capability I would like to say, the capability is influencing people and giving them dreams. By preparing for civil services, you have the capability that you can give people's dream and to show them the path they can go for. You got the capability to give them their life purpose, and this will not require any power in your hand from the government. When you write essays, your critical thinking is like a diplomat, and your precise judgment is cannot be compromised. You are not less than a journalist whose inquiring capabilities can ever be doubted. Your tenacious nature and determination build a very important character in you, and that is you never give up. You never give up on your people. You never lose hope in yourself and show your people the light even in all darkness. Dear friends, we all know the struggle behind civil services. We all know the consequences of going through this exam. In most cases, we forget the purpose of this exam, which is to find the best individual who can serve people in most efficient way they can. You know, guys, what is today and why I distribute the chocolates? Today is my younger brother's birthday, and I prepared this speech as a gift for him, so that he never think that he failed in civil services exam. His goal must not be to crack an exam. It must be something bigger like becoming a great leader, so that he can do something for the people left of him and right of him.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hemant. So the title is gift, and he has come up with a gift. Thank you, Toastmaster Hemant. So with that, we come to it's time for the final speaker to get to the stage. So before I introduce him, let me invite his evaluator, DTM Sampath Sowrirajan sir, to present his speech statement.
Good afternoon. Area Director, sub-seniors and all the members, and the speaker, Toastmaster Saravanan in particular. The chairs are filling up better and better. we are in for a great time. Do you know what the project is going to be, the next project? Renu? Yeah, what is the project title?
Sorry?
Project title.
Title reflections. Dynamic leadership.
And that is path. Reflection is a speech title.
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned. How many of you went through the project document which is available for all of us? We have to do it every time. Because even though we have not done the project till then, we may not be planning to do it in the near future, this is an opportunity for everybody. I just wanted to highlight this. From next week, the agenda, you look at the agenda and see those three. In fact, you will become a better voter because you will know what to expect and you will be able to compare things against your expectations. Thank you for the little bit extra time. As we already learned, Lessons Learned is the title of the project. This is the 5th level. It's an elective project. Level 5. Toastmaster Saravanan has given the title Reflection. 5 to 7 minutes, Mr. Timer, is the time allotted. The purpose statement as given in the manual. It has the 2 parts like in many other pathways project. Purpose of this project is for the member to learn about and apply the skills needed to run a lessons learned meeting. So there is something called lessons learned meeting. We are all going to learn about it during a project or after its completion. The purpose of the speech, which we will be listening to now, is for the member to share some aspect of his or her leadership experience and the impact of a lesson learned meeting. So as the title says, this is one of those feedback projects on leadership. There are many projects in which we get feedback on communication. This is one of those where we get feedback on leadership. Good luck to the speaker and good luck to all of that. Back to the Toastmaster. Thank you.
Our speaker hails from Konkanadu, but he has become a Chennaiite since 2007, and he is part of this tribe, the Toastmaster tribe, since 2009. And when asked about this particular theme, he told monomaniacal focus on the given task is his secret to get things done. In order to get this speaking section done, let me invite our ex-president, Toastmaster Saravanan. Toastmaster Saravanan, Reflections, Toastmaster Saravanan.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Jan 2022, 1 year back, I was in my apartment complex. I was walking down the stairs. That time, I saw Anita along with her 17-year-old daughter. She was coming down the stairs and she's a neighbor in my apartment complex. I saw them. I said, nice, you both are looking like sisters. Anita was very happy, but her teenage daughter was not happy. The next day, I saw Anita coming with her mother, 70+ years old mother. I said, nice, you both are looking like sisters. The mother was happy, Anita was not happy at all. The same words I said, the same effect I had, but the response was totally different. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmasters as well as guests. What do we understand from here? The lesson I learned here is, words are powerful, words are beautiful, but the context where we use the words are more important. Lesson number 1, important life lesson we have to learn. In my apartment, I was serving as a secretary. There were 3 tasks assigned to me as a secretary. One is to paint the outer walls of the apartment, clean the common areas and fix the repairs. Third was fix some of the tiles over there. These are the 3 tasks. And what I did was, mine was a 24-year-old apartment with 24 flats in that apartment. So as a secretary, I formed the team, ExCom team, and had a discussion with the previous ExCom to understand what are the lessons learned for completing these activities. Because this is not the first time we are going to do this, this was already done. So I did an exercise of learning from others of what they have done. 2 things, things gone right, things gone wrong. I took both of them and then wrote down in my sheet. There are 5 categories I learned during the lessons learned meeting. First one, governance. Second, time, cost, scope, resources. These are the 5 categories that came as an outcome of those lessons learned meeting. Then, as a project, what I need to do here is, I have to categorize those, learn the lessons from those categories, and then what are the leadership experience I got out of those lessons. These are the 3 things I have to do as part of my project. Then I had a meeting with my ExCom to understand these categories. First of all, governance. This is most important. The problem earlier was, in the governance meeting, everybody have their own agendas. For example, if we have to go for this particular vendor, already somebody else will be coming up with a different vendor. And if you have to go for this color, second opinion will be coming up with other color. And the predominant focus on that was Anita, because she was also part of that ExCom meeting, and whatever I said, she was opposing that. I didn't know the reason. You might be knowing the reason. Then I used my leadership experience of political savvy. What is political savvy? Anybody here knows about that? That means you have to have 51% of the members on your side. I had 7 ExCom members as part of this committee, and I have to have at least 4 in my side so that I will be able to pass any of those resolutions. It happens everywhere. This is called as political savvy. What I did was 2 things. One is networking, to ensure that I talk with each and every person in the ExCom to get their buy-in. Second thing is talk their own language. It was comprising of various gender, it was comprising of various walks of life. So I had to talk them in their language and infuse some sense of humor so that I get their buy-in. These are the 2 things I did as part of that, and the governance, because of that, I was able to get more than 51% and I was able to pass all the resolutions. First lesson from a governance point of view, political side. Second one, on the time, because of time crunch and the cost crunch, there were not a threshold for us to go for any of the deviations. The scope creep is one of the biggest problem for time being elongated. We were given a timeline of 2 months to complete everything. So what I did was, I based on a risk-based rework to ensure that what are the risks that will happen, what are the mitigation actions I have to work on, and then the contingency actions I have to work on. So I came up with an Excel sheet with risk, mitigation plan, contingency actions, and what each and every person's roles and responsibilities are. These are the actions I did as part of this to ensure that we are on track and ensure that we have the progress shared with each and every member in the WhatsApp group. This is the second lesson learned, risk-based rework and risk mitigation and contingency action. The third item was on the scope. Because of scope, there are various creeps that can happen. I said about 3 scopes. I wanted to ensure that all the 3 scopes are taken care of without any deviations. So the leadership point of view I had was being authoritative at some point of time, so that we as a team will be able to achieve our goals without any deviation. The fourth one on the cost. Because of the cost, there are various things. See, for example, 24 flats, and we have to get 1 lakh from every person to proceed with. And the important problem in all the flats or associations I have dealt with are not everybody are willing to give the cost. Meaning, not everybody are willing to give the money upfront. So, what I did was I followed a pattern, that is pay setting leadership, to ensure that we collect the money first and then only proceed on the rest of the activities. So that helped me in proceeding without any issues as such. I also followed one more action, that is visionary leadership, to ensure that without any gaps we follow everything. The last one, the resources, vendor management, I ensured that we followed up, because in schools the lessons are taught first and we conduct the test. But in life, the tests are conducted first and we learn the lessons. All those.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saravanan, for your tenacious efforts to learn the lessons and share it with us. With that, we come to the end of the speech section, the prepared speech section, and now we move into the exciting. Before that, we need to get the voting done for the best speaker. So you have your.
For your information, all the speakers are qualified.
Okay, thank you, sir. So all the speakers are qualified. So please cast your votes. You have the QR code with you. Thank you. So now we enter. So hope you are all done with the voting. So let's move to the exciting part of the meeting, the table topics. So to conduct the table topics, we have the table topics master. Today's table topics master is an entrepreneur, also the co-founder of Workline, a HR tech company. To get things done, she uses the 3D technique, that is decoding, detailing, and delegating. She also reviews the progress of each task continuously until it gets done. With that said, let me invite the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Nishana. Please put your hands together and welcome Toastmaster.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Now we are entering into the interesting table topics session. Now, table topics is a registered trademark of Toastmasters International, and for the benefit of the guest, table topics is an impromptu speech where it's an opportunity for all the guests to also participate, walk up to the stage, face your fears, and then deliver the topic that is provided to you. The timing for the table topics is 1 to 2 minutes. You have to talk for a minimum of 1 minute and maximum of 2 minutes. You will also have 30 seconds as the grace time to complete your talk. Now, a quick tip for the table topics is how you can handle. It's not about what is the topic that's being given to you or whether you know the content or not. You have to just stand here, face the audience for that minimum minute and talk whatever that pops in your mind. That's the quick tip. To give you a real-time example, when I entered into the Medley session for the very first time as a guest, I was invited here, and I was given a topic called as "What will you do if you are Mahatma Gandhi?" I was like stunned. I could not even think of what will I do. But I was talking something irrelevant till the timer showed the card there. So it's the benefit that I have derived after the table topic session is phenomenal. You wouldn't believe that it has increased the moral boost, the confidence of how you can handle the strangers basically when you are a guest. So I would encourage all the guests here to participate and also allow yourself to experience such fascinating moments. So let's start with the table topic session. For the first speaker, I would like to call upon DTM Thomas. Welcome. So your topic is your opinion on ET, not about economic times, it's about extraterrestrial lives. Extraterrestrial likes your opinion, DTM thoughts.
Thank you very much. You want to start with the murder, your session, not bad. Extraterrestrial, what I remember when I hear the word is E.T. The scary, cinematographically fantastic, brilliant way that film starts. The eerie light, then you have a silhouette, evil personified. There's an element of green. Green is not only envy, green is cupric oxide, right? It's decay, it's old, it's evil personified. This is my first ever, my top memory, rather, picture in the head when I hear about, what are the questions? E.T. Okay. But more importantly, I happened to be in a corporate club 2 days back doing an evaluation. I got a creepy, eerie feeling listening to one young guy. I think he must be Isaac Asimov's cousin somewhere. He was talking exactly about this. E.T. He was talking about one person called Abhinay or whatever name, her double and her husband, all of them merging into one. I still haven't recovered from that thought, so I don't think I want to pull you all into that mind fade situation. I think I am happy with all of you the way that you are, despite the first speaker trying to confuse you, asking you where you're subconscious and you're superconscious.
So yes, by this time you would have figured out how this is being handled now. Our next speaker is going to be Toastmaster Venkat. So your question is, when you wake up from your sleep, you become a girl and no one is recognizing you at home. What will you do?
Thank you, table topic master. This is my first table topic session, in-person meeting. So I have attended the table topics only online. So this is my first session. I am as equally fearful as Toastmaster Nishana said. And thanks for this wonderful topic. I'm trying to think what are the things going around in my, popping up in my mind so that I could distract away from that topic. So when I wake up, not as a girl, but as a woman, I would love to live the life of my wife. How I would treat my husband. Early in the morning, 4:30 a.m., the alarm rings. Of course, I won't get up. It is he who has to get up at 4:30, and he would go and get ready, make coffee. 5 o'clock, I will get up. Aram Singh. Sorry for that. I will get up at 5 and I will start working on everything. By that time, my husband would have prepared rice and cooked vegetables so that I could prepare dals and sabjis and everything. I would go and tell my husband, hey, thanks a lot, man. I didn't expect that you would do this much of work. Getting up at 4:30. It's very difficult for you, I can understand. And you have done a lot of things. See, all my work has come down now. It's very helpful, you know. And you have taken a lot of care of our kids. You are making them ready for the school and reducing my burden and my work. Like, I am multifaceted, but 3 of my phases have been reduced, unlike Prasanna, Vani or Pravda. Thanks for that, and I appreciate it. That would the best life I would have as a woman. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite Vishnu Prashant.
Could you repeat the name, please?
Vishnu Prashant. So your topic is unique talent or skill that you admired in your close friend.
So good afternoon, every Toastmaster member. So this is my first time in front of here. So the unique talent, So yeah, I have a close friend who I have known him for about 15 years since school. So what I have, the unique talent I notice in him is like his persistence to every situation that he's facing. Like he's been too cautious. So sometimes I feel like he's been too cautious about everything that he do. But then like to be I used to be the exact opposite of him. Like I like to face challenges, get hurt, and then learn a lot of lessons. Like what the fellow Toastmaster, like he said, he shared a lesson like during one of his speeches. Right? So I used to be like that. Face a lot of challenges. Take a long road to learn something new, but then he's been too cautious to make sure he doesn't get hurt. So that's one skill like I really admire in him. Yeah. Thanks.
Next, I would like to call upon Ravindran. We'll go with simple questions. Your topic is your first experience in amusement park.
Amusement park. First of all, once again, good afternoon to all. The thing is, I was not expected to be invited as here. So anyway, so let me go ahead. So my first amusement park is Wonderland. So since my childhood, I would like to go for amusement park and all. Then at the time we did not get a chance of going over there. So then when I went to Bangalore for studying from my hometown, so I got a chance to go to Wonderla. So really I wondered what is Wonderla, because their amusement park, I thought, I did not imagine all the kind of activities what they are having, water games and dancing on the rain, and we have like rolls. I don't know what is the names we call that. So I really enjoyed each and every moment over there. So it was good. So we enjoyed a lot over there. Yeah. Thank you very much.
We'll call upon Toastmaster Suhail. So your topic is, if you can have one superpower like Avengers, what power would you choose? Why?
Thank you so much for the topic. Like as a child, everyone will be having this imagination. Of course, I would like to be Iron Man. I would like to be a Tony Stark, because that's the first time I have seen a human flying without any superpower. Like a Superman movie where he used to have a superpower. But that guy, that specific character, creates some machines where he made the humans fly, and he fights against the enemies. The way he, I would say, it looks good when I see the instruments where he uses. So I wish I would be a Iron Man. At the same time, I would like to be a Hulk. Would be better if I have be a Avenger. Whenever anyone shouts at me, whenever my bosses or my wife shouts at me, I can transform myself into a big monster so that they get scared and move away from me. Yeah, I would like to be a Hulk and Avenger. Iron Man.
We assume that the pepper will also accompany you. Next we will call upon Latika.
Sorry, my other name.
Latika. So your topic is your favorite movie or scene in a book or a movie and the impact it created.
Hello. My name is Latika, and
Topic is favorite movie or scene that you have watched in a book or a movie and the impact it created.
I like the movie Chak De India, and the scene when the coach they are looking for the teams and they are finding one state players. So they are trying to make a Indian team. So they are creating, they are changing their mind from state to Indian mentality. I like that scene very much when they are when they ask for their state from where they belongs to, and they said they all girls are telling about their own states, their that they are the they represent their states instead of representing them as an Indian team. So I like that theme, that portion of it.
We call upon Ravi.
Praveen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The moment that you lied and get caught red-handed.
Sorry, can you repeat it?
The moment you lied and you got caught red-handed.
First of all, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for calling me on stage and then putting me in a fix, actually. So I'm actually literally speechless, literally and figuratively. So if you ask me, actually this topic is triggering back those memories of my school days. So when I was studying my 11th standard, so until 10th standard I studied in a CBSE school where it was very strict rules where you're not supposed to go out of your school once you go in at 8:30 in the morning and you get out only at 3:30 or 4 p.m. But I studied in plus 1 and plus 2, 11th and 12th. I enrolled into a state board school where I the first taste of freedom. So what it means to be a completely free bird. So at that point of time, we used to frequently bunk classes and go to the movie theatre. So my home is located in Triplicane, and both the best theatres of Chennai are located close to my school actually, the Satyam Theatre as well as the Devi Theatre. So at that time, we were running out of budget. So those times, the 10 rupee ticket were quite famous. And at that point of time, I explored a lot of movies actually. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks.
Monish.
Monish.
Yes. Best way to balance work and personal life. Monish.
Thank you for the opportunity. I think best way to manage your work and personal life is that you have to bucketize them. What are the priorities, work-wise and personal priorities, and obviously you have to work it out with your spouse and with your manager. There are certain times when you can be called upon. Suppose you have to log in by 2 o'clock, so there is an urgent work that is required in office, so you can always discuss with them that between 12, even at 12 o'clock you can call me for something urgent, and at night, even after 11 you can reach out to me. So that's something that you can always share with them, that this is the flexibility that you can give your boss, that you can call me. And at home also you can have that flexibility that some days I can be available when work is going on. I can still step out when there's something urgent that is happening at home, or whether you need me. So I think working with, I would say, both the stakeholders helps you manage your work and personal life. Thank you.
Guest Anandan.
Come again.
Anandan. Multitasking, best practice or myth?
Sorry, can you just repeat?
Multitasking, best practice or myth?
Thank you, Table Topic Master, and for the wonderful motivation which you gave at the start and relating your experience, which is what motivated me to come to the stage and have a conversation. Now, what is multitasking, right? Right now, there are there are so many people who are multitasking. You are listening, but you're not actually listening. The evaluators are actually writing what they have to tell, right? So, if you look at the gentleman over there, he is not listening, he is actually writing down. Because that's the need of the hour. If you look at the guy sitting in the wearing a suit, he's listening to me, but physically he's telling what the evaluator is going to tell me. Because he knows that the evaluator section is going to come and what the evaluator. So you see, nobody is doing simple things, always multitasking happening out there. Look at all the gentlemen over there, somebody is checking the mobile, right? Because that's the need of the hour. The question to be asked is whether it's good or not. I'm not the right person to tell. But let me tell you the pros and cons, right? I'm over here right now. Right now there's a mobile SMS which has come to me and I'm thinking, what my wife has asked me, why the hell did you not get your ATA? And you are doing Toastmasters. Otherwise I will not get breakfast tomorrow, friends. I will come to be a good communicator, but I will not be a good husband at all. So what's the point, right? The question to be asked again is what works for you. At work, you do certain things, you feel you have adopted to a certain place, and then all of a sudden you get an email saying, have you done this? And when you are saying, oh gosh, I never thought about that, right? Look at let us look at a granular level, at a more wider level. The Prime Minister Modi, what is he doing, right? He's taking care of the country. There is Sitaraman who just unveiled the budget, and there are people who are just looking at what has transpired, right? For you and me, the tax rebate is the best thing. Let rest all, it doesn't matter, right? What is the prices of article which have reduced, what are the particles, those are more important, but the point of the matter is we are always multitasking. But the great skeptics and the great people say that you need to focus, you need to concentrate, you need to look at yourself, you need to reflect on the task in hand. The table topic master has given the topic, but she's already thinking what she has to, by the way. So, the point of the matter is, it's all about making that balance, making sure that you do the right thing, be it Prime Minister Modi, be it a Toastmaster or be it our boss. It's about taking a balanced stand and making sure that you do the best thing at the right time, at the right place, so that you can be more tenacious and be more balanced in the approach.
We call upon Kausalya. Your thoughts on forgiveness? Yes, Kausalya.
Good afternoon, everybody. My thought of forgiveness is like whenever there is a fight or anything with my friends or anybody who I know or who I don't know, I tend to think of the negative possibilities which might happen. So I didn't know how to control my anger. After the fight, I come home, even if there is a road rage fight or something, I think about the person, I think I should have said this, I should have said something. And my BP rises and it affects my health also, and mental health and physical health both. Then I didn't know what to do with such thoughts. It has continued for long. Then I thought I should get some help, and I read in Google here and there everywhere. But one quote from a great book, I don't want to mention the book because you said you should not talk about religion. It said like you should not even waste half a second thinking about bad people or bad instances. I stuck it on the door, and it has helped me to forgive. Its main thing is that you have to forgive that person, forgive whatever has, forgive that person, and you should not keep the negative thoughts. So forgiveness is very important for your own mental health, at least I would say. Thank you.
Yes, thank you everyone for all of your tenacious efforts to make sure that all the guests participate today. I'd like to check who are the qualified TT speakers today.
The qualified speakers are DTM Thomas.
And you can raise your hands.
Please raise your hands. Toastmaster Venkat, guest Guruprasad, guest Ravindran, Toastmaster Suhail, guest Latika, I am pronouncing the name right, guest Praveen, guest Anand, and guest Kausalya.
Yes, and you can vote your best guess for the TT speaker.
Okay, so now we come to the next session, and it's an all-important session. So, as the President told initially, it's time for us to RRR. But don't do the first R, that is rest. Now it's time to reflect. Okay. So for that, let me call upon our general evaluator, Toastmaster Pravda, to continue the proceedings.
Good evening once again. A good evaluation directs us to prepare our next presentation better than what we did today. Today, to exclusively evaluate our prepared speeches, we have a team, the next team, the evaluators. To evaluate the first speaker, I would like to invite Toastmaster Priyadarshini. She works for an NGO and she is a passionate speaker, and when I asked her how she gets her things done on time, she said that she clearly expresses what she requires the person to the other person, and that is how she gets. Most of the time it works out. So please join with me to welcome Toastmaster Priyadarshini to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Jagan.
Toastmaster Jagan is one such speaker where once he made us walk in this beach and feel the love. Last time he made us walk in this area which was built some many years back. He talked about the golden era of Mylapore and took us to some other level. Today he made us walk into such a place which lies neither here nor there. Good afternoon to all my fellow Toastmasters and guests. The first thing which comes to my mind when I saw this speech of his is the drama that he created on this stage. His fall from Yamaha and the feel of being floated. He's with doctor under this anesthetic power and the feel that he gets under its influence. Rush to see his friend not just made us feel, but see this complicated tug of war between heart-mind complex. Friends, this is a very difficult topic to talk because it transcends beyond our senses and it transcends beyond our rational thinking. But still, with his tenacious effort, he kept us hooked. And kudos to Jagan for that. Now coming to the recommendation part. Consciousness doesn't die was his general purpose. To an ordinary person, the problem when someone dies is that absence. Then how can we bring that person back in my consciousness? That was his ultimate answer. He's alive here. How do a person keep him alive? Is it possible by keeping that good moments within me, or is it bringing out a bigger message like a donation of our organs? So might be there was a heavy feeling which kept lingering. If you have talked something little light at last and saying, yes, they are with us, it has given a very good effect. That's what was my say here. Again, this is one such speaker who can make you feel comfortable in beach, in Mylapore, or not so happening place. But the good thing is, death is inevitable. We all know, and he at least made a try to get us prepared to this new journey. Thank you so much for that.
To evaluate the second speech, we have a software engineer who works in an MNC. And when I asked him how he get his things done on time, he said that he again prioritized his work and he keeps a deadline for himself by which he completes the work on time. Please join with me to welcome Toastmaster Venkat Pallle to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Hemant.
Thank you. Toastmaster Hemant, I was just watching your opening speech. What a great gift you delivered to us today's session. We all know that in today, one movie gone to Oscar, Telugu movie, Triple R. Have you remember one of the song, how director introduced all the great leaders? The same way, the speech was introduced by all the great leaders. Kudos. Very happy that you are one of the great director. The way he projected the song, you projected the speech the same way. I was really impressed with the way you opened the speech. And you talk about many reputed institutes like AIMS and great leaders like Vajpayee, nuclear. Yes, these are all gifts that we got today. Okay, and you are very well pointed and tenaciously said serving people no less than civil services. Definitely a lot of improvement have been made compared to your first speech. The content and structure and delivery, excellent. And what I have been observing in the last speech also, I was not the evaluator, but you are holding the tab and looking at the tab. And I was just counting how many times you are looking at the tab, how many times you are looking at the audience. It's more or like equal. I think you can overcome this problem very easily, because when I was doing my icebreakers, other speeches, I also like that. But my mentor, my other speeches, other evaluators, the way they gave the evaluation was, what I was told, prepare a speech which comes to 1200 words to 1400 words, that will come to 5 to 7 minute speech. And practice opening separate, closing separate, and middle separate. So you try to avoid the holding any object. Even one of my speech, I hold by mistake some papers, and I was not able to move left, right, because it is holding me back onto every time I was looking at the objects. So if you could avoid that, overcome that problem, then definitely your speech will be a next level. I am looking forward many more gifts in form of speeches and the coming sessions. All the best, and I wish happy birthday to your elder brother. Younger brother. And thank you, and over to you.
To evaluate our third speaker, we have a veteran Toastmaster, the founder of Medley. And as I know, all of you know that he gets things done in a straightforward way. Please join with me to welcome Toastmaster Sampath Sowrirajan to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Saravanan.
Okay. Good afternoon, friends, once again. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Saravanan. So Toastmaster Saravanan was talking about something, learning lessons from some activity. What was that activity? Can anybody say that? What was he talking about? From something, he was drawing lessons.
Anita's mother and daughter.
Anita's mother, yes? See, the apartment group, there is an association, he was managing the show. So as a leader, he was organizing that. Whenever you are a leader, in such a case, you may have a committee and he will be meeting with the committee, planning and doing things. All his lessons learned are coming from that one. How did he start the speech? You said that. A very humorous way he started. Of course, he has got humor. He has a natural talent. He often uses that. That was a very good opening. And then the body of the speech was about the lessons learned and what some things happened during that association's activities. So, about his speaking skills, we don't have to tell because he is quite an expert. In fact, he was using his hand gestures very nicely, vocal variety, and eye contact. He resembled an oscillating fan by doing this very frequently, which means he was giving eye contact to all the people here. Okay. So all those things are very well. Now, in his speech, the purpose of the speech is to talk about the lessons learned. Lessons learned from where? During all those activities in the apartment complex? No, this project doesn't say that. This project is an excellent project which says how to systematically and formally organize things so that you can draw leadership lessons. Anyway, you are going to do the job. Halfway during the job or towards the end or after completion of the project, you have a meeting with all the senior or serious stakeholders like the committee members, and with them you discuss. This is the project. It's a very valuable project. Please take this project and do it with all sincere effort. There is one problem which you often find in Toastmasters, that is when you take a leadership project, sometimes we do the retrospective effect, like what already finished, we take that and then use it as a project. And there's nothing wrong in that because practically it is difficult. Overall, he has done a great job about the lessons, few lessons he has told. Of course, exhaustively we cannot give so many lessons. He has made a good choice and selection. He has proceeded through the process of narrating that. But I have one point. I will give you one last lesson, because this world is a very cumbersome place. In this world, you should not only do the right thing, you should appear to do the right thing. So you should make sure that during your presentation, what you did during the process is somewhat clear to the audience. Back.
Timer, may I know the qualified evaluators?
The qualified evaluators are Toastmaster Priya and Toastmaster Venkat Pallle.
Kindly take few seconds to vote the best evaluator. Tag players report. May I now request the timer, DTM Guruprasad sir, to give his detailed timer report.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Do you want to participate in a thriller movie at any point of time in your life?
Yes.
Play the role of a timer in a Toastmasters meeting. You will realize I am supposed to be a hyperactive person. That's how my friends call me. I realize I'm not. So many things I had to do. I missed the button here, an entry here. Well, it was a great experience. In my 11 years of Toastmaster experience, this is the 4th time I'm playing timer role. People say, you are a senior person. No, sorry, no timer role for you. Once I played an online meeting, 3 times in a physical meeting. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much to the XCOM for giving me this opportunity. Let me have a look at how did the meeting go. Yes, the members were tenacious at adhering to I really like. So at the beginning, Sergeant Rams took the exact 2 minutes given to him. President took a bit extra 2 minutes. We were saved by our Honorable Area Director, who gave us a lot of minutes back in spite of the 5 minutes given to him. So we were able to stay on time. TM Modi, instead of 7 minutes, he took 10 minutes in the introductions, and G adhered with 7 to 7. Then comes to the prepared speeches. Toastmaster Jagan did not get into Oblivion, and he exactly completed in 7 minutes 22 seconds. TM Hemant gave a gift back to us in the form of 1 minute and 30 seconds. He spoke only for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, which was qualified time. Toastmaster Saravanan, he exactly reflected in the form of reflections the time given to him, 7 minutes 21 seconds. Then comes the torrent of table topics. Of course, the extraterrestrial man took 1 minute and 36 seconds, DTM Thomas. Toastmaster Venkat Session, in spite of being a woman, he still took only 2 minutes 4 seconds, with respect to women here. So guest Vishnu Prasad took 1 minute 8 seconds. Guest Ravindran amused us with 1 minute 8 seconds. Toastmaster Suhail, though he had superpowers, he exactly took only 1 minute. Guest Latika, she scored a goal in Chakda India with 1 minute 18 seconds. Praveen had that moment that he liked with 1 minute 8 seconds. Monish balanced with only 0 minutes and 51 seconds. Rather, he could not balance the given time. Guest Anant, he did a single tasking but delivered in 2 minutes 20 seconds. Guest Kausalya, She forgave us with 1 minute extra and she did it in 1 minute 3 seconds. Evaluations went on very well. Toastmaster Priya gave it in 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Toastmaster Venkat Pallle in 2 minutes 28 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Sampath Sowrirajan with 3 minutes and 35 seconds. I really enjoyed and I also made a small dashboard of how this whole meeting went on today. The blue ones is what was planned and the red one is what we actually performed. So it was not bad, we are almost close. I hope you enjoyed the meeting with the right timing played by the right role players.
May I now call upon the accountant, Toastmaster Suresh, to give his detailed report.
Hello everyone. So apart from the data I collected from here, I just want to say all the speeches from their point of view were tenacious. I appreciate your effort which you have put in it. So as for the prepared speeches, which was really prepared, so all the three speakers, I can say they are minimum to none. So which means the speeches do not have any filler words except for minimum. As for the table topics, we do have Thomas sir and many of the Toastmasters here who have done a great job because they was excellently structured. They had little filler words. And as for the guests, I can sense many of them have done it first time, and I can see myself standing over here when I did that, and I can see it. But yes, apart from that, the average performance was relatively good because yes, that's what it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh. Now I welcome the grammarian to give a detailed grammarian report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. The word of the day was used by 9 of us today. Kudos to you all. It was used by Toastmasters Jagan, Hemant, Siva, Nishana, Priyadarshini, Venkat Pallle, Guruprasad, Suresh, and guest Ananthan. Coming to the use of outstanding words, our president started with the word rest, reflect, and reset. Then we have Toastmaster of the day, Siva, telling about seasoned procrastination and use of decoding, detailing, and delegating when introducing Toastmaster Nishana. Toastmaster Pravda used the terms multifaceted, veteran. Jagan used phrases like disastrous consequence, laborious, pat of an eye, helpless, clueless, hopeless, tongue swirling, discussion at length, body shutting down. Hemant used the words disheartened, sow the seeds, execute, capabilities. Toastmaster Saravanan used the words governance, savvy, walks of life, infuse, getting them buying, crunch, mitigation, contingency, pacenting, and upfront. Toastmaster Nishana used face your fears, pops up in your mind, phenomenal, and red-handed. DTM Thomas Abraham used the words eerie, evil personified, creepy, mind-filled, subconscious and superconscious. Toastmaster Venkataseshan used the word multifaceted. Guest Vishnu Prasad used persistence, cautious, and Toastmaster Suhail used transform into a monster like Hulk, suddenly which was used. Guest Praveen used putting me in a fix, literally and figuratively. Guest Monish used flexibility, stakeholders. Guest Ananthan used unveiled, skeptic, battle stand. We had guest Kausalya telling about a quote. Don't spend even half a second thinking about the bad people. Toastmaster Priyadarshini used the words, phrases tug of war, transcends, lingering, inevitable, and she used a euphemism for death, a not so happening place. And DTM Sampath sir used the words systematically, retrospective, and cumbersome. DTM Guruprasad sir used torrent of table topics, amused, and he beautifully used the topics which each speaker got to introduce their timing. Coming to the few improper usages which we had today, he goes for. Instead of he go for, it should be he goes for. And how you can. It should be how can you. People has, and it can be people have also. People has, you can say if all the people together decide on something, but if there's a difference among them, you can use it in plural as people have. He never think. Instead of that, it should be he never thinks. Instead of in today, it should be today. And comes to should not be used, rather we should use coming to. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Before I give my general evaluator report, let's take few seconds to hold the vote for the best accolade. Before I begin my general evaluation report, I would like to say a few words of appreciation to our Vice President Education for filling all the roles far before today's meeting. 2 weeks, why I am telling this is 2 weeks before, when I was in my family function, a message popped out. You have been assigned as a general evaluator for the 4th February meeting. I was astonished. What is today's date? And it was 20th of January, 2 weeks before. And I readily accepted this. Thank you for that.
Tap the shutter button to search.
So as it was mentioned in previous meeting, all role players today's meeting, they came to the venue little prior to the meeting, and I appreciate their response for that. And all prior arrangements were done and the meeting started on time. So a big kudos to the people who joined the venue little earlier. The guests were warmly welcomed and they were properly introduced and they were given opportunity to share their views and what they expect from us. And today we had the privilege to have our area director, Toastmaster Asher, and thank you for your speech and encouragement in today's meetings. The theme of the day, get it done. Very interesting topic chosen by the Toastmaster of the day, and his speech I had a nostalgic effect on going back to my first year physiology class talking about amygdala and pre-sensory cortex. It was very interesting and thoughtful. The meeting was started by Surgeon at Arm, Toastmaster Dharan, and I found that after finishing, he continued to do his job by going to the entrance of the room and was waiting throughout the meeting for any members or guests to join, and kudos to him and give him a big round of applause. And today we didn't have our member photographer, and I appreciate the VP for readily being an instant photographer for today. Today we had 3 interesting speeches, or enlightening and a mesmerizing speech by Toastmaster Jagan. I have never consumed alcohol, but today I felt probably this could be a part of an alcoholic effect. So nice. And the other 2 speakers, and a humorous speech as usual by Toastmaster Saravanan. One recommendation I would like to tell, as suggested by Hemant's evaluator. I prefer an extempore speech in a Toastmaster meeting. If it can be applicable, it's well and good. And all 3 evaluators gave a meticulous evaluation on their target speakers. Kudos to them. And regarding the table topic session, it was very interesting, and Toastmaster Nishana needs a big round of applause because this was her first Toastmaster table topic master role, and she did it very perfectly. I should specifically appreciate her for telling that in detail how it is conducted for the benefit of the guests and the newcomers, and she also gave a live example on herself, how she felt when she was initially called for a Toastmaster meeting. So it has to be appreciated. All the questions were handpicked, and I think she involved some children too, and it was very funny, and the response from the members and from the guests was enormous, and it should be appreciated as well. All the tag players did a very good job, and they did justice for their role. And few recommendations that I wanted to give. As far as today's meeting is concerned, I will go back to the first point what I told in general evaluation. VPE, he fixed all the role players far before, and there was some last time dropouts, and few roles, 1 or 2 roles were not fixed even at the last moment. And I expect the members who are not doing any role to take up, if there is any dropouts in the emergency, to take up the roles and fill it, because one last role was filled only today morning. So that is one thing that I felt. Otherwise, in general, today's meeting was conducted smoothly and very informative, a very good learning experience, yet another feather on the cap of Medley. Over to the TM.
Friends, what a meeting we had. It was like a roller coaster ride, right? So 2 weighty speeches, and then a chilling table topic session, and a reflective evaluation session. Hope you all enjoyed the session, and I wish to appreciate everyone who has played the role and made this meeting successful. Please give it up. So now it's time to cast your vote for the role players. It's time for me to hand over the stage to the President, Toastmaster Dinakaran. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Modi. Dear members and guests, did you all enjoy the session?
Yes.
Okay. We had prepared speeches on life lessons and also on the leadership lessons. Our TT Master took all the speakers to the imaginary world or to recall the past experience. We will all hear some feedback from some of the guests. Guest Latika, would you like to come and give some your feedback? Whether you enjoy, what did you like?
Thank you for giving me the chance. I enjoyed the session very much. I like how everybody get the chance to speak and present. That's it.
Thank you. Guest Ravindran, would you like to come and give a feedback?
Thank you. So I came here to see. This is my first Toastmaster experience. Just I came here to see how the things are going on. So the thing is, yeah, it's going fine. See, lot of things we can learn it here. So that is what we observe over here. The new words, what we are talking about, the topics on spontaneous topics, what we are going to deliver, how instantly we can prepare it. So those things we can learn it over here. And the prepared topics like with the content, so how the things are happening, so that likewise we can also learn something over there. So it's overall it's good experience for me to learn a lot of things here. Thank you.
So yeah, I've been to few Toastmaster meetings before. So the one thing I like about here is I like the vibe here, feels so positive, and also it helps me analyze where I am at this present and where I want to be after a year. So I think it's a great opportunity for me to establish my professional side and communication skills as well. Thank you.
Yes, Praveen.
Yeah, it was a nice experience actually. So observing people, having a one-to-one conversation and then facing a crowd, they are poles apart. So that is what every individual speaker there, I think they would have faced it in the initial stages. So as a newcomer, so I also faced the same. So I had a brief acquaintance with TMC almost a decade back. So, but post that I couldn't take it up seriously due to various reasons. But so sitting here, it was a trip down memory lane for me actually. So, and as I said, first thing is when you face a crowd, it doesn't really matter how many people are sitting in front of you. Even if there's the one guy, still your mind goes blank. So and just to have a flow of speech and then to remember everything and not lose weight with the kind of preparation you had, and then coming out with flying colors, it's a Herculean task actually. It's a tenacious task actually. And I just saw people doing it with such ease, so with such confidence, especially facing a crowd, and it was a great observing experience and also a great learning experience. Sitting one among as an audience actually. So thanks for giving me such a beautiful experience. Thank you.
You told that you have visited many clubs recently.
No, not yet. This is the first time.
Oh,
I mean, after a long time, this is the first time
okay.
I'm visiting. So, and I was a part of a corporate club actually. Brief period. So in Bangalore, I visited a few. In Chennai, first community club. This is the first one I'm visiting.
Hope you had a good time.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to repeat what he has told, even though there are so many people, our mind gets stuck with one person and it goes blank really, and this table topic what she gave me was an easy one, but it got stuck, and in the home I practiced in my mind that I should write down the word which is given, and then I should look at the hand and use it, but I forgot to write it. So maybe I practice more and improve on the PT topics. Thank you.
Yes, Jagannathan.
Consider enough of this appearance.
They say the first impression is a lasting impression, and I must say that because I was speaking with Toastmaster Siva, and I was just inquiring about him, and he was in the midst of some role, he said, and he said he's doing TMOD. I realized how stressful TMOD He called me back, and he also sent me the agenda of the meeting to PDF. And when I looked at the PDF, it was so meticulously crafted that I realized that I come from Bombay, and Bombay Toastmasters is slightly every club has its own idiosyncrasy and way of looking at it. And I thought I was visit this, and I must say that there is a lot of DTMs over here which goes on to show the quality of the club. And even a simple role like timer, how innovative it can be, we saw it today with the live on display. And what's other interesting is the quality of speeches which we have. I thought that was outstanding, or the kind of preparation which goes through at times. We don't get the whole level of time, but I think that was fun. And more importantly, we have a lot of fun, and the involvement of all the Toastmasters and speakers are there, which makes it even more vibrant and good to look at. So I think that was some of the findings, and I'm hopeful that I'll get it done and be here next Saturday as well.
Okay.
That's how it's going.
Just stay somewhere close.
I stay nearby, so I just managed to come by through. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Vishnu.
I already came.
Oh, sir. Sir, your good name? Monish. Yeah, please come.
Thank you for having me here. This is the first session as a guest. I've tried to contact another Toastmaster club. It was in Aripuram. I met the members there, but I didn't have the numbers, and they said they would contact me. So that didn't happen. So Medley Toastmaster, I contacted, very positive response, and I was always given an agenda. Last time around I could not come. I'm happy to be here. I like the positive vibe that is there in this particular club. It was very professionally conducted. All the roles were played out very well, and I hope to be back again. Thank you.
Thank you. Last, we'll hear from Mr. Area Director.
Of course, no need to say about Medley's session. It was a tenacious session. I really enjoyed it. even I didn't know, like, you know, the time is flying so fast. This 2 hours went, you know, it's like, you know, like 5 seconds or so. Everything, each and every moment, I really enjoyed it. How many of you have attended the district conference? Yeah. So I think previously you would have attended, like when Sri Lanka was there with Tamil Nadu, right? But now this time District 120, like we are separated from Sri Lanka. So this time we are from District 120, we are organizing a district conference separately, exclusively for District 120. So hopefully in the near future you will come to know more details about it. Maybe towards the end of this term we'll be conducting the district conference. So I thought I'd just throw some suspense over here for you. You can, you know, ponder over it. Apart from that, a great session. I really love this session. Thanks for having me. Yes, sir.
This time it will be an in-person conference, right?
Definitely, yes. It will be like a 3-day event. I don't want to, you know, put more information over here. I want you to be in suspense. But definitely you will hear more information, more accurate information.
What he says is start saving me.
So thank you very much.
I think as Arshad was talking about earlier, like we are getting into this context season, so we will very soon get into this prepare speeches and the table, the table that we have completed. So evaluation. So we'll get into that. So please connect with your mentors, start preparing. Let's have a good season this time. All right. Okay. So we'll move on to do you have the results ready? Yeah, before that, like we have launched the survey. I think we have called out last week also, you remembered, but it looks like it's still like, how many have completed the survey? Can you please confirm? Okay. Others who are not completed, please make use of this opportunity. So we'll soon, like maybe by mid of next week, we'll close the survey and then we will take up some actions and then we'll try to implement it. So please help us with the feedback. Now we'll go for the best performers for the day. Best player. Best role player, Guruprasad Nishana. Best TV speaker, Best Ravindran. Best Evaluator, Toastmaster Priya. Toastmaster Dharan, Best Speaker. Okay. I think we have come to the end of the session. The sound is given. I declare 3 number 717 company.